Hello, everyone, and welcome to Courage to Live Your Dreams. I'm so happy because I have a new guest here today, and I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about her, so I'm going to put her on the spot and have her do some talking. But before that, just to share a little bit about what Courage to Live Your Dream is all about. This is a show where we invite guests who are entrepreneurs and they share some of the struggles they've gone through, how they got to where they're at, what kept them there, and what do they do when those rough times comes along. And the whole idea is so that maybe if you're going through something, perhaps something they share will resonate with you as well, and you can take advantage of it. We also invite authors, as you know, because I am an avid book reader. Absolutely love reading books, especially romance stories, as you all know. And so I do encourage authors to come on the show, and sometimes they do. And when they do, they tell us about why they write, how they got started, what keeps them writing, the type of writing they do, and why they do it, among other questions. So this time we're working with a brand new entrepreneur who is going to share with us what got her into the business of it. And for others, also want to let you know that we have a new service that we've added, and that is we can now share with you how you can protect your family legally and also your ID protection. As we know, everybody is trying to grab everybody's ID these days, and it is rough when you're having to go out there and get everything back in order. Well, we can show you how to do that, and they do all the work for you, and they don't stop until they get everything back the way it was before. All right, so let's get started. Our guest today is Coach Lori Abernathy, and she is a holistic wellness coach. And I'm going to have her share with us something about herself. But Lori, tell us, number one, what is a holistic wellness coach? Because I'm sure there's somebody out there who's probably wondering, what does that mean? We've all heard it, but I personally have never heard anyone explain what that is exactly. I have my own idea, so share with us.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm a holistic wellness coach. Wellness is like just getting healthier lifestyle, getting better, feeling better.
Mhm.
Holistic to me is not using chemicals, trying to be as healthy as possible. More natural foods, raw foods. Less sugar, less stuff like that. I put them together as holistic, and holistic to me is from the head to the foot, so like the whole body, the mind, body, and soul. That trinity. And
Mhm.
holistic, that's what that means to me, is that I'm treating your body, your soul with meditation and journaling, and your mind with meditation. And it just hits all three. Your mind, body, and soul is a connection. And even though you try to work on one, you still are not in balance because the other two aren't worked on as well. So my term of holistic is that I get to help you get well in our parts of your body. The whole, that trinity of mind, wellness, and soul. Mind, body, and soul.
What made you decide to go into the holistic?
I was a life coach. The first time I heard life coach, actually, I was on maternity leave for my second son, and the
Hmm.
show came on. It was called Starting Over with Alania Van Zandt. And I had never heard of her. It was the first time I met her, and she had the term of life coach. And it was a show, a reality show, where they took a person and they gave them 6 weeks. They put them in a center, like a retreat, and for 6 weeks she worked on her mind, her journaling, stuff like to give like they get a chance to start over. And I said, wow, I could use a start over. I was on baby two. I was still young. I'm like, I could use a start over, and that's what got me to the term of life coach.
Hmm.
And I started life coaching. I realized that I had been a life coach because all my friends and family always come to me to start to talk to foul, to be a cheerleader, or what do you think, and help them along. So I kind of was doing it already. I just didn't know what the title was. And then in 2016, I had passed. I had a baby at 40, my last one at 40. I'm like, okay, you're on another realm here. So
Hmm.
at 40, things are changing, your body's changing. I'm like, I started getting diabetes and a little high blood. I'm like, okay, I need to do something, and just did a whole shift. And that's when I got into the wellness piece. And since I like life coaching and I was on a wellness journey, I just decided to put them together so I could do what I love and work on myself at the same time.
Okay. So, was this an easy decision for you then?
Yeah, because I knew I'm a diabetic as well. So I already knew I was a diabetic, and I know as you get older, your diabetes gets worse. So I was trying to be in prevention of how of trying to not make things come, with that.
Hmm.
And I said, well, if I'm doing this, I wonder how many other women out there or people that's trying to do the same thing and just don't know where to start. So I said, well,
Hmm.
I'm here, and I already like helping coaching people, and I'm on this journey. So let's see if I can help them along that way too. And so we hit, and that's what made me start, where I combined them and changed it to holistic wellness coach. And I did that in 2000, actually, no, 2016. I was a life coach. I think I changed in 2020 to the wellness piece because I was really getting deep into my wellness, and I'd share stuff and stuff along, and people would say, you should do this, or, that was helpful. Thank you. So I just combined them together.
So it's kind of a natural thing for you.
It
Um,
is.
that's amazing. I often have tried to figure out what was I supposed to do, but that's another story of how I fell into what I do today. Before we go any further, tell the people a little bit about exactly who Lori is. Um, as you're a very beautiful woman,
Thank
but
you.
tell us about Lori, a little bit about. I heard you mention your children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how many kids do you have?
I have three. I'm single mom. My children are ages 32, 28, and 16.
Hmm.
As I mentioned, I had a baby of 40. God's got jokes.
Hmm.
I didn't think it was funny at the time, but it's okay. He ends up as an actual blessing. I got a BA in Women's Health Education from the University of Massachusetts
Hmm.
in 2016. So it was like a 32-year journey to get that.
Hmm.
Um, and that was a process too. And I did that because I wanted to teach my kids whatever life throws at you, you got to keep going. Understand what he's threw at you, but know that there's a way to get through it. So keep going through. When I was little, always people tell, my mother say, you going through something or going that through. And, I've had a few through moments in my life. And I'm like, I did that constantly. I kept trying to get my degree to just show them, keep going. How long ever it takes, just keep going. So that was a 32-year journey getting my BA. And they were proud of me. They was able to come. All of them came, and it was a big moment for us because my oldest son knew my journey. He was the oldest, so he saw me go through most of that trial and tribulation, with just me and him, and so he was glad that I was able to get that. Um, Single mom, only child, so that's a different thing too. I'm used to being able to entertain myself or keep to myself. So some people think I'm maybe introverted. I'm an extrovert, but some people think maybe I'm shy or I don't know. But only children, I know we're a little different where we do a lot of things on our own. Like it's hard to reach out and ask for stuff. So that's something I'm learning too in my journey, that it's okay to ask. Asking just means that you don't have knowledge of the task. I've always felt that asking was I didn't know or I was weak. And being a mom in this day and age, raising boys, you didn't want to seem as weak. So I pushed that off for a while. But as I got older, I realized it's just that I don't really understand the information at that time or that task. And it's okay to ask for help, which I'm trying to instill in my children now, that it's okay to ask for help and, get better study skills from a younger one and learn how to work with people and different dynamics.
That's interesting because you know what? Unfortunately, there are many people who are afraid to ask for help. Uh, I know for myself, for years, I would not ask for help because I was an oldest child. Okay, I was the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And even my mom came to me about things sometimes when times were rough. And as an adult, I found myself in that same situation. Everybody felt I was the one to come to. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I needed help, I didn't know how to ask for help because the first
Mm-hmm.
thing I thought, they're going to perceive me as being weak. And so I would just kind of withdraw more into myself. Was that part of what you experienced?
Yes, yes. And it was year and I just had that realization like last year, like at 55. So I've been doing that my whole life, not
Mm-hmm.
asking. So now I'm trying to retrain myself and retrain my children because they don't ask for help. My 16-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
is fumbling in school. He won't ask me for help. I'm like, just ask. He's like, I don't want to ask for help. So I unfortunately have taught my children, don't ask for help, to do it yourself. So now I'm trying to retrain them. I
Mm-hmm.
figured I got to be the lead, take the lead, and learn to ask for help to retrain them that it's okay to ask for help. So they don't feel on an island. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island out there alone and you don't, it's just all water and sharks and you don't know where to go.
uh, as to how the world sets things up. And you say you just started at 55. Well,
Mhm.
congratulations. You still beat me because I just started learning to ask for help. Oh my goodness, I guess about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And it's been kind of a adjustment for me.
It's
I should put it in the book that I wrote that I didn't want anyone to see me as being weak. And I knew they would if I had to ask for help. And it's really hard. So when I talk to people now, one of the things I tell them is don't be afraid to ask for help.
mhm.
It's
And
nothing, there is nothing wrong. In fact, I think it shows that you have more strength uh, because you're willing to recognize that you can't do it alone.
okay, I like that
Yeah.
because in my mind, that asking for help went against the strong black woman dynamic. Here I am, a single
Hmm.
mom raising three male children in today's society. I couldn't look. I
Hmm.
felt like I couldn't look weak to them or society because I'm trying to raise these boys and raise these young boys to be men. So that was a lot of
Hmm.
my dynamic. That strong black woman really had me. I'm like, if I'm asking for help, then that means I'm not strong. And so that means I'm not fitting that title that I deserve or that I've earned, raising these kids. So that was my biggest thing.
Hmm.
And now I hear that there's a whole dynamic of how that strong black woman ideology is actually hurting a lot of us because we don't ask for help. We struggle all this time. And, so that's another conversation. But yes, it is very
Yeah.
difficult. And I still struggle. Like I
Hmm.
still daily, I still struggle. Like, should I ask? Should I not ask? And I just, hit the send button and just close my eyes. Yeah, I still
Hmm.
struggle with it. And I just did that last year. So yes, it is definitely a struggle. It
Yeah,
is.
it is, and it is part of a problem with black women because we've been raised that we got to
Mm-hmm.
be there. So,
Regardless.
right, uh, and for so long, I guess we were the protectors of our families,
Mm-hmm.
whether people want to acknowledge that or not. Um, we kept it together, and so now we have to learn how to be. It's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not get any further into that because that's a whole show by
It
itself.
is. It is.
I'd like to learn more about how you feel you can help people with holistic wellness because that's another area where sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that. I got this going on in my life. I don't have time for this. So tell us why and how. Well, first of all, how you can help us and why you feel that we need holistic wellness type help.
Okay. Well, there's a saying going out around I've always heard is that you can't pour from an empty cup. So here we are as mothers, wives, students, sisters, aunties, grandmothers, and we're pouring out to our family constantly. We're pouring out to work. But when do we pour back into us and be replenished? I think it actually something probably comes from the Bible, like someplace I just kind of converted it. But you gotta replenish yourself in order to be able to pour on other people, or you end up pouring out everything and then you're empty and you're flat and you fall and you fail and you don't have the energy and everything. So my ideology is I want to help women fix their problems in some situations by pouring into themselves, which gives them energy, confidence, empowerment, strength, mentally and physically, to go through whatever they have to go through and to help other people, but still be at their best self, to help them live their best lives.
Mhm.
So we go through an assessment first, like a self-care quiz and lifestyle, and so people can see like kind of what stuff they need to work on just for their own answers. And then we devise a plan: meditation, journaling, diet, exercise if you need it, a 90-day goal list. Everyone's different, so I kind of customize the coaching based on what that particular person's goal is and how they would like to attach it.
Mhm.
Life coaching for a lot of people is we are not therapists or counselors. We're
Mhm.
like encouragement people or accountability partners to 10th power. So therapy takes people from the past to the present. A life coach takes you from the present to the future. And yes, some of my clients can be in therapy and have a life coach because we're in different realms, different ends of the rainbow.
Mhm.
So you're coming to me with an issue or a problem, or you're stuck, or you don't know where to start. I start with assessments first, to get a baseline, and then we pick a topic and subjects, and we go along the way. I have an online platform I have access to, so they can get 24-hour access to webinars, diet plans, meditations, exercises. So whatever they need, so I'm on one and I can't be all the time. So I have that platform where they can check in and do certain stuff and touch back with me. And it's a co-creatorship because I'm creating with you. I don't do anything for you. I create with you, and I'm your accountability partner. Hey, did you do the assignment? Hey, did you take that walk? Or hey, did you go past that assignment you're supposed to pass into? And then we create that plan for you to get to the end goal.
Great. Well, you answered about the tailoring it. Uh, is there a is there a what you recommend as a minimum amount of time someone should work with you to achieve their goal?
I have my programs are 16-week modules.
Mhm,
That's about 4 months because it takes about that long because it takes sometimes of us, I know me personally, at least a couple of weeks to actually figure out what the issue is. You may think it's A, but it actually ends up being D.
mhm,
Like you think it's this, but it actually something else based on other questions or other things you fill. So my module, I have a 16-week program, and it starts there, and they can go longer as you'd like. Or if you get you go sooner than that, then sooner than that. But most of them are 16 weeks. Remember.
okay. All right. So before I forget, uh, could you share with the people how they can contact you? If they want to work with you or learn more about what it is that you do. Want to make sure they can reach out to you and be able to get some further information
Sure.
on what all you do.
Sure. My
Mhm,
website is www.thesoulprovidercoaching.info.
mhm.
I'm on Instagram as Coach Lori One. I'm on Facebook as the Soul Provider, and I'm on LinkedIn as Lori Abernathy.
Okay.
And on my
Is there?
website page, there is a contact sheet where you can like send out a link to contact me, and it'll hit my email, and I can respond back.
Okay. That was going to be the next question. Thank you. It's been nice talking with you. I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, what kind of condition am I in? I like to think I'm pretty healthy, but I am getting up there. As you say, you got one of your oldest son is 32, and I'm thinking, wow, my oldest grandchild is 38.
Wow.
so, so, yeah, that's awesome though. But anyway, I love learning more about wellness because as I get older, I do recognize that there are things that we need to do, things that I used to could eat and thought nothing about it. Um, it doesn't work quite the same
Mm-mm.
anymore.
Mm-mm. No. No.
So rather than having someone wait to get to my age to start thinking about things like this, is this something that people should be doing all along?
I believe so, yes, because wellness is a process. Like it took
Mhm,
years and years to get your body in that shape, like in the bad shape. It's gonna take years and years to get your body out of that shape. So
mhm,
you can just take little steps. Like I know it sounds cliche, but really drink more water. Water helps flush toxins and fat out the body. Try to get more fruit and veggies in, and less meat and stuff like that. Like I turned pescatarian at 16 at 2017. I became a pescatarian and left the pork and beef alone. I feel a little better, but I got to take another step because all my numbers aren't in a row. So I'm rethinking now. I got to do one more step. Exercise a little bit. You don't have to go to the gym 4 or 5 hours a week. You can take, they say 30 minutes a day, for a year can drop 60 pounds. So the 30 minutes could be one 30-minute session, two 15-minute sessions, or three 10-minute sessions. Just get
mhm,
into 30 minutes in. Doesn't have to be fast walking, doesn't have to be hard. Just get your body moving, just any bit of movement, park a little bit further away from the door to the store and walk that way. If you have stairs, go up them slowly if you're aged or matured, but maybe use the stairs instead of always using the elevator, walking, and just take small steps, and you get big progress down the way because they compound your wellness and your healthiness, and you get further along down the way.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Well, huh, wow, you kind of took that away from me. Well, this has been a wonderful opportunity to speak with you because, as I say, as you get older, you start realizing so many things that you didn't think about when you're young. It's funny how we think we're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can happen to us. And then one day you wake up and you realize, ooh, wait a minute. There's some
It
things I
happened.
need to be taken care of
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, yeah, well, I'm so happy that you came on the show today to explain this to us and share with us of how important it is that we start taking care of ourselves. And I say start because most of us wait until something happens before we think about taking care of ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
you are encouraging us to do that now. Don't wait for anything to happen. Just get started now. Don't worry about your age. Just get started.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Just start. Just start anywhere. It's better to start and fail once and keep going than never try at all. So just start. Drink a little more water, one extra bottle of water a day, one extra glass of water. You know, cut down on the soda as you're drinking the water. You know, and especially with our culture, we have a lot of food-based stuff that gets our illnesses going. So just be cautious of that, like the salt and high blood pressure and diabetes, just kind of like runs in our culture, and it's based on our food and how we eat.
Hmm. It's true. I'm just thankful I don't have high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's been about 3 years since I've actually gone to the doctor because of COVID.
Okay.
That's my excuse. Every time they call and say, "We need you to make an appointment," I say, "Ah, wait. I'm not coming out."
You can do a telehealth appointment. If in my area they let us do a health appointment over the phone,
Yeah,
like a video appointment.
that's what I've been doing, but they want me to
Okay.
come in and do the blood
Yeah.
tests and those
Mhm.
other things that they say tells them what's going on in my body,
Right.
and I've been putting it off and putting it off. So hopefully I'm still I still am okay and don't have that high blood pressure problem.
Hopefully. But go get checked. I'm gonna encourage you, since you're on here, I'm gonna encourage you tomorrow. You wake up around 9 o'clock, make the phone call, and just book the labs. If you don't want to see your doctor, just go book the labs, and they're pretty good. They have people sitting really far apart, and everybody's
Hmm.
masked up. Just go in there, get your blood running, and run back out and go jump in the car.
Well, I'll I'll make the call.
Okay,
I'll make the call.
definitely.
So,
Thank you.
and I'm going to agree with you about the water. That is, would you believe that I really have a lot of problems with forcing myself to drink water?
Put some
Um,
fruit in it. Put a lemon in it, or a lime, or fruit, something to give it. I don't like water either.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
believe me, I drink bottled water, and I think I told myself I would never buy water in my life, but it
Hmm.
tastes better than what's coming out the faucet. So just put fruit. I drink lemon water every single day, and actually, lemon water helps clear out and flush out your liver and kidneys. So I drink lemon. I put lemon slices of lemon in my water and let it sit and
Someone
use it
else
as a
told
base.
me to do that too, and I have
Mm-hmm.
started doing that. But I find I can drink hot water easier than I can
Oh,
cold water. So, what I do is sometimes I will, instead of a cup of coffee, I drink hot water in its place.
hot water and lemon.
Hmm.
Hot water and lemon. And that would do
Okay.
the same. That's the same thing. Yeah. So to make it like a lemon tea kind of thing. But yeah,
Hmm.
hot water and put lemon in it. That will work as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, again, let's give your contact information one more time before we wrap up for the day.
Okay. My website is www.thesoulprovidercoaching.info. My name is on Instagram. I'm Coach Laurie1. On Facebook, I'm The Soul Provider. And on LinkedIn, it's Laurie Abernathy. I got to get better at my business. I'm going to get them all the same name eventually. Um, and
What?
on my website, there is a contact page where you send me, you can get my email. My email is long, so that's why I'm not giving it. It's like really, really long.
Hmm.
Um, but it is, it's called Coach Lori at soulprovider.info if you want it. But yeah, on my website, you go on, there's a contact page. If you fill out the contact page, it'll hit my email, and then I can contact you back.
Okay, and your web page again?
www.thesoulprovidercoaching.info. And it's soul, SOUL, your soul provider coaching.
Okay, great. Thank you. I just want to make sure that everyone knows where they can reach you. And most people tend to run to either the web page or Facebook. So,
Mm-hmm.
so, well, thank you so much, Coach, for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure listening to you. And I will be inviting you to return for another time because I enjoyed our conversation here today. I think you have a wealth of information that we all need so badly, that we need to be taking care of ourselves. And unfortunately, we've gotten out of the habit of doing it. And because we don't do the hard, heavy work that our foreparents did, we're all
Mm-hmm.
out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
I look at some of those old pictures of mine and I go, what happened?
Even our
Uh,
elders look different. Like they aged well. Like they say our culture we don't get wrinkles, and it's true. But
mhm,
they just seem to not have all the health problems that we had, and they live really different lives. You know what I mean? They could
mhm,
eat everything and still be 80, 90, 99,
mhm.
100 when they died, but they was out in the farm. They always had farms or fields, or they walked. And, you know what I mean? They stayed active, whereas we're
Right.
more sedentary, so we have to kick that up a little bit, change that.
Yes.
And wellness is
Exactly.
a lifestyle too. Wellness is
Mm,
a lifestyle. So that's a lot of things people think is going to be a quick fix. It's not. It's a lifestyle change. You have to have the mindset and determination to change the way that you live and eat now so
mhm.
that you can live and eat better, live better down the line.
Thank you. Thank you. You've heard it here, and I hope were listening and taking careful notes, and that you take this seriously because your health is important, and each and every one of you has something that you can contribute to the rest of us. But you can't do it if you're laid up sick in bed or you're no longer here with us because you didn't take care of yourself. So give it some thought and contact Lori at the Soul Provider .info and reach out to her. She can truly help you. So again, thank you, Lori, for being on the show today. Thank all of you for listening or watching us, whatever the case may be. We truly appreciate the fact that you give up a little of your time to spend it with us. And a reminder again that uh, we do have a writing group. You're welcome to attend that. It's always on Mondays at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And if you want to be a part of that, just reach out to me at Lawana at lawanaspeaks.com, and I'll be happy to send you the link for that. And we can also help you protect your family legally and protect your identification. Again, reach out to me, Lawana at lawanaspeaks.com. And we again thank you for being here. This is the Courage to Live Your Dream show, and we will see you next week. And as I always say, a goal is only a wish until you take action. See you next week. Hello, everyone. Thank you. And I'm so excited to have you here today. This is the Courage to Live Your Dream show, and we have a very special guest today. I'm excited for her because she has just recently published her very first story, and we are going to get into the depths of what that is all about. But before we begin, just to let you know, as we always do, what this program is about. We talk to men and women who are either new entrepreneurs, beginning, want to learn more about being in business for themselves. We speak to authors who have written books, who want to write a book, thinking about writing a book. I'm gonna get to it someday, write a book. So we are open to anyone that wants to grow and improve themselves at whatever it is they've chosen to do in their lives. And that's what we're all about. It's just let you know that no matter what your dream is, you too can have your dream. You just have to believe in yourself. So getting started here with our special guest, Sharon Stewart Gomez, who is joining us. And as I said, she has her first story published. So, Sharon, tell us a little bit about who Sharon is.
Okay, Sharon is a girl who always liked to write and read stories, but was never encouraged to speak out her dreams. And so, all through school, my work was picked to being one of the best. And in high school, I wrote for the kids in my class. I wrote different stories and different voices, and the teacher never caught on that I was writing for them. But puncture, grammar was never my thing, so I wrote and they corrected the grammar. So here I am, some 18 years later. I'm finally pursuing my dream of becoming a published author, and I did that on last week Sunday. Woohoo! By publishing my first story to Amazon Kindle Vella.
Oh, that is so great. I am so proud of the fact that you've done that because I've only known you a few months,
Mhm,
just about a year, I believe.
mhm.
And I was instantly surprised when I found out that you were interested in writing. And I'm thrilled to death because you chose to join me when you started doing your writing. Of course, I have to admit she had actually started this story before she came to the group. But that doesn't stop me from taking a little bit of credit.
You know what? It was either your nephew or your son. I don't know which one it was, but he came down here to visit your sister, and he told me that you had this show on Facebook or on the internet, a writing class. And I asked him for the information, and I think he gave it to me. That's how I got in touch contact with you.
Oh, okay. So I'll have to find out which ones I can thank them. So
Yeah.
you've always enjoyed writing, but like so many of us, you weren't encouraged to do the thing that you loved doing. What made you finally step out and take the big leap of faith and just start writing for yourself?
I think the older you get, the less afraid you are of failure. And it's like you have a bucket list of these things that you want to do, but were always afraid to do or didn't take the time out in your life to do. So, in this part of the journey of my life, I'm going for it.
Good for
So,
you.
yeah.
Good for you. You are a role model to so many who may be feeling like you. Uh, Nobody ever encouraged me. I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I shouldn't even try. At my age, who would care? I mean, all kinds of crazy things go through your head when you put off going after your dream. And that's a wondrous thing because you're never too old to go for your dream. Doesn't matter about your age. It's how you feel in here. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I find myself getting discouraged because that self-doubt will come into your head. I'm like,
Mhm.
uh-uh, uh-uh. I'll put my writing down for a while and then I'll start back because I know what I want and I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me, not even myself. If you want something, if you really have a passion, don't let nobody stop you. You have to do it. If not, you will always have that regret and that, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that?
Mhm.
And this year was like when you make New Year's resolution, this is my year of living with no regrets. The things I want to do in life, I'm going to do them. So I won't look back and say I should have done that because I did what I did, and that's how it is.
That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. I remember, well, my husband passed away 3 years ago, and I was driving to Texas for a conference, and I met a woman who actually told me that my husband was speaking to me through her. And one
Mm,
of the things he said was that it was not my time and not to live with shoulda, coulda, woulda, to go forward and do the things that I really wanted to do. Now,
mhm,
this was a complete stranger, never met her before,
mhm,
but I accepted it because she knew nothing about me or my husband, or even that my husband had passed away. So
mhm,
I thought, okay, now is my time. So I have been pushing forward like you. Forget about the age, just go forward. That's amazing. So I want to ask you a little bit about your story now. I don't want you to tell everything because we want people to go over to Amazon
Mhm.
and take a look at your story and even purchase it. But tell us a little bit about the story. Give us a little synopsis of what it's all about and how. Since I'm not familiar with Vela, maybe you can
Mhm.
share with us how that works because there's going to be some people who are listening who may not have heard about Vela.
Okay. Kindle Vella, I'll start off with Kindle Vella.
Mm.
Kindle Vella is a new platform by Amazon, and it's where you write short episodic chapters of a story. And you write each chapter and you try to leave like a cliffhanger to
Mhm.
make the person want to have to go to the next chapter to read the story. And they have a minimum requirement of 600 words per chapter and a maximum of 5,000 words.
Wow.
And the way you get paid is for every 100 words that you write and a person reads the whole chapter, or I don't know if they could tell how many parts, but you get like 50 cents for every 100 words. And the goal is not to write as many words as you can write, because when you do that, people are not going to read your work. It has to be meaningful
Hmm.
words to your story. And so that's how you get paid.
Hmm.
And you just have to make it interesting. I'm just starting, so I don't have a huge following yet, but I'm praying and I'm hoping that people will read my story and they will tell other friends and they will share it, because it is truly an engaging story. It's about this lady named April's. And when she was in the junior high school, she met, no, she was in high school. Her sister was in junior high school. And she went to her sister's um, went to a concert. And April is like me. When she gets excited, she makes a yell like, my daughter hates it, but it just comes out naturally. I make this sound like I came from the motherland. And when April was cheering for her sister, she made a sound similar to that. And it got the attention of this boy named Jeff. And it went into his heart and into his soul. And he stood up and he just had to see who was making this sound. And so he saw it was her, and immediately he fell in love with her. So then he found a way to get to know her by dating her sister, and he would do little things to get on his sister's nerves so that she would call his name. So she would always look to see what he was doing. So he was getting that negative attention from her sister, but he was getting that positive attention from her. And so he's always had this secret crush that everybody but April would recognize. And so it talks about them. And then when April graduates and go to college, she meets this guy named David, and he's a star athlete, and she's all and awestruck because this like celebrity, because he's a jock, he notices her and she falls in love with him and she has babies for him, and it's an abusive relationship.
I'm gonna cut you off because I want them to go over there. I don't want you to tell too much. This is really getting very
Yeah,
interesting. But we
yeah,
want them to go over there and read your story, you know?
yeah.
And I know the cliffhanger is going to be magical. That's going to draw people into thinking, okay, what's going to happen next? What's happening next? I got to come back. So,
Oh
how
yeah.
often would you be posting these stories to Vela?
Okay, right now it's 42, 41 or 42 chapters in the first season, season one.
Mm-hmm,
And so far I posted like 24 stories, but those won't show up till Thursday because it's like day by day.
mm-hmm,
And so I'm gonna post all 41 or 42 of the series, because sometimes when you go on the internet and you read stories, people haven't finished them. And you get all wrapped up in reading this story, and all of a sudden the author start writing it. I'm like, what the heck? What happened? So I'm going to finish season one. It will be complete. So when you read it, you can read all the stories for that first season, and you won't have to worry about when is she going to post the next one, because it's there. Season two picks up where season one left off. I can't tell you that because then I will spoil what's going to happen. So you have to read
Great.
season two.
Absolutely. So, what made you decide on this particular story to write?
You know, I've been working on this story since 2018, and it has many, it's a series. It's not just one story, it's several stories into one. Like the one I was talking about, David, the story about David is in a separate book called David, My Love. So I might have given you a spoiler right there, but you
Mm-hmm.
won't know the complete story till you read David, My Love. And oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, it's very explosive. If it's about her being, it's about domestic violence. So that's what I'm gonna
Mm.
tell you about that. But
Okay.
what was the question you asked me again?
Well, what made you decide to write this particular story?
Oh, I chose this story because it was already written and I just had to change the ending of each chapter so that it would be um, more suspenseful. Since
Mm-hmm.
the story was already written, I just had to make a few modifications.
Mm-hmm.
And they say don't just write a book and put it on there, because if it's not suspenseful, that's not what Kindle Vella is for. It's
Mm-hmm.
for you to create something that makes the person want to change, makes someone to turn to the next page, next
Mm-hmm.
chapter. So that's why I picked this story.
So, what does your family think about your writing?
They're they're excited for me, and they said, I don't want to read another chapter unless you're finished with it, because I have them reading chapter after chapter after chapter, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll go back and I'll change something, and then I'll ask them to reread it. And it's like, just write it and be done with it. Let me read the final version because I changed stuff in there. They said, well, you changed that there, and now you have this. So now that it's finished and it's published, my sister said that she can't get enough of it. And then
Oh,
I have other like coworkers and people I talk to, and they said that it is really, really good. They can't believe that I wrote it. It's
that's
like,
amazing. So
yeah,
you've got a following for you already.
a
That's
small,
wonderful.
a small following, but
Well,
it's growing.
there,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to start somewhere. Start with
Mm-hmm.
one person and it
Mm-hmm.
builds on from there. So as your story becomes better known and the word spreads, you'll get more followers. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So hopefully we can help by people who listen to this show and they're curious enough to go over there and find out about it. Can you tell us how they can find your particular story? What is the name of the story? And what do they have to do when they get to Amazon to find it?
Oh, this is a funny story. I had been looking on the internet on Amazon trying to find my story, and I couldn't find it. I told my 11-year-old granddaughter, she said, Granny, this is all you got to do. She went there and she typed my name. My pen name is Demp Shay, and then the book popped up. I have been going through all these things trying to find my story. So I'll get ready to ask
Oh my
Amazon,
gosh, our
how do you find them?
grandchildren. So all we
Yeah.
have to do then is go and type in DIMP, DIMP, Shay, SHAY.
Yeah, but it's DIMP with apostrophe. And then my last name is SHAY, because they won't let you put it under a first name only. You have to have a first and a last.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose Dimp Shay because when I was in the 12th grade, one of my boyfriends, he used to call me Dimp Shay because I only have one dimple. So since I don't have a whole dimple, he called me Dimp. And my name is Sharon, and so he called me Shay. So
Oh,
I write under
oh,
Dimp
what a
Shay.
nice way to remember him.
I can remember him. He
So
gave me
now
one.
if he happens to catch this broadcast, he'll know he made an impression.
Oh yeah, he did.
That's great. Well,
And
you have some characters in this story. I have, in full disclosure, I have read quite a bit of her story, so I pretty much know what's going on. Haven't finished it yet, but uh, you have some characters that are very deep, and I mean, that you really feel what's going on in the story, and there was times when I felt like just crying and I wanted to hurt somebody. That's always a
Yeah.
sign of being a good writer when you can affect people emotionally.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so I was just wondering about the characters. Are they um, were they characters that you just completely made up in your head, or maybe you've heard of something that was happening and just kind of expanded on it and turned it into a story?
When I sit down to write, I don't have a clue as to what I'm going to write. As I write, the stories pop in my head, the characters, what they look like, what they want to say. So when I started writing this story, it was it, they just spoke to me. That's all I can say, the characters. And I know the difference between when they say something and when I say something, because when I try to correct and I try to write it, I
Mm-hmm.
get a writer's block. But when they talk to me, they'll tell me the story from the beginning to the end. I don't have to sit down and make a outline. I don't have to think of what I want to say. They just tell me. Like for years, I was writing the main character Jeff name,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff. And one day, the voice in my head said, "Why did you write Jeff? That's not my name." I said, "But that's how you spell Jeff." He said, "I'm Dutch. I'm part Dutch. My name is spelled Geoff." And so I had to go Google it. And I'm like, is Jeff spelled Geoff? And it was. And the same thing with the girl, April's oldest daughter. Her name is Jennifer, and I was spelling Jennifer. And he said, and that's not how you spell her name. Her name is spelled with a Gennifer. So I'm like, okay, let me Google that. And so I Googled it, and it's in the spelling with with a Gennifer. And so little details, and like originally the book started off where chapter 3 is, with him being at a party, and he was talking to April, telling her that's not right. And I'm like, I didn't know what he was talking about. He was telling her she didn't have to do what she did. I'm thinking, what did she do? My sister said, well, what did she do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know until they tell me. And it was like months later when the character told me what the lady did that he was upset about. And when I found out, I put it in the book. But a lot of little details and stuff, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm writing it, I don't know because I'm waiting for the characters to tell me their story. So
Wow.
that's how I write.
Wow, that's
It's scary, huh?
wow. Now I have not had the privilege of having my characters tell me how a story is to go, and I have heard of people who that happens to. I
Mm-hmm.
remember one time reading a story that I really liked, and the author was written a little blurb in the back of the book about the story, and she said that she was on her way home. Her husband was driving and she was just sitting there thinking. And all of a sudden, this story came to her from beginning to end. And as soon as she got home, she started writing the story. I think that is amazing that that happens to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard people talk about how the characters talk to them and tell them what they're supposed to say. And will
Mm-hmm.
get upset with them if they don't word it the way it's supposed to be, too.
Yes, yes. That's true. That's true. That
Mm,
happens several times. That's like when I'm editing a book, I really can't edit it because I'll spend all day writing what I think I want them to say. And
hmm
then they'll say, that's not what I want. So then I have to go back and then they'll tell me what they want to say. So it's like all this time I spent editing was for nothing.
hmm
So I try not to edit it because I feel like editing it. So I just wait for them to tell me what to say and then I'll change it
mm,
because it's
okay.
double the work.
Wow. I cannot believe that that you were able to do that. And this is your first book that you've had published, right?
Yes, this is part of the first part of the book that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken down into 2 seasons. The whole
Mm-hmm.
book is written is the first book is Whose Blood Is It? Then it's David My Love, All About Jeff, Is This the End? Then The End. So it's several books. There was another one about his parents, but they're not telling me their story. So when they finish telling me their story, then I'll write it down. But I'm not. They have stopped talking to me yet. I guess they want me to finish other stuff before I work on their story.
Hmm. Okay.
So,
Well, that was going to be my next question. Now that you've had some success with this one and you've got your season one and your season two, will there be other stories that you will share with us, other books, other characters?
oh yeah, after I finish with this one on I'm on Kindle Vella. I'm
Hmm.
going to be writing next month. I'm going to go to Amazon Short Reads.
Mm,
And then I have stories about the green card, which I started reading reading it on my podcast. And then I have Fair Warning, Don't Change My Name. It's about the reason why April's name is April's. And
hmm.
so that's a short read. And then I have Get Up Denise, about domestic violence case.
Mm.
And so what else? I can't think of all the names of the story. But then I have another one that I'm working on. I think I'm just going to, after I become more successful or my name gets out there, or even maybe before then, it's called The Package Deal. It's about, it's an embellishment of my life where where this lady has fallen in love with this man with the two kids. And he had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend she didn't have anything to do with the kids. She just wanted the man. So the
Mm,
story is, I thought Loving a Married Man was a package deal, but that title was way too long. So it's just The Package Deal. And so maybe toward the end of this year, that story will come out, or maybe before. So I'm not sure if it's going to be on Amazon. So it's going to be on Kindle Vella or just a straight on Amazon book.
hmm. Now
So
that's great. That's amazing.
yeah.
Ah, wow. Well, all I can say is congratulations. Um, I am so very proud of you and the fact that you have done this. So many times I've heard people say what they're going to do, but they never quite get up that courage to step out there and do what they want to do. And you are making your dream come true. But not only that, having read a good portion of this story, you're helping somebody who may be going through the same situation to give them some courage, some inspiration on how they can perhaps get out of their situation. So thank you for so much for taking the time and trouble to write that story and putting it out there. It's kind of a heavy story in a way because I'm one of those people. I like romance, but I like the happily ever after. You know?
I don't write happily ever after.
so so for someone to take on that responsibility and so all I can do is just congratulate you and I encourage you to continue to live your dream and to write those other books that you've already got them named and everything in your head, so no excuses for not completing them. And I for one look forward to reading some more of your stories. So, if you want to, once again, before we wind up and share with us how we can uh, not only find your book on Amazon, but also you mentioned about your podcast. Um,
Okay.
how can people find your podcast? Because you also mentioned that you are sharing one of your stories over there. I know I've heard a part of it.
Yeah, hold on a moment. My battery about to run low.
Okay.
Ephraim, I brought my computer in the room and I didn't bring the charger. Ephraim, can you bring me my charger, please? Can you bring me my charger, please? Okay. You can find my podcast. It's under the name Dip Shay,
Mhm.
Keeping It Real. And I'm on, what's that we're on? Anchor.
Anchor. Okay.
And Lawana, you helped me to do that. You encouraged me to do that. And I put my first one on there, and yeah, no, for my phone, my computer. And sorry about that, guys.
Hmm.
And I listened to Lawana's, and then I made my own. And she encouraged me also through her writing class
I'm glad that that was a help for you. And for full disclosure, I do a writing class on Mondays, and anyone is welcome to join that class. We have different types of writing. It's not just one thing. We have some people who come on just to for the purpose of journaling because it's the only time they seem to find some moments when they can actually do their journaling and not have to um, have distractions because for whatever reason we tend to put ourselves out there and share with the world, or even just ourselves, because they don't always share what they've written. Sometimes they just they'll just write, and that's it. Others who write will read what they've written, and we critique. And we're always mindful that each person writes according to their voice. You can't dictate to someone how their voice should sound when it comes to writing. So I have one girl who is writing poetry. In fact, I have another one who completed her book of poetry and had it published. You can find her book under Anna Hissack rather, and it's called Poetry of Psalms, just like the Book of Psalms. But they're beautifully written. You should go over and find that book and read it. We also have a couple of people who are just writing their story. One is doing a self help book on attitude, and I'm anxious to find out how that is going to turn out to be. But it is amazing to see how these people put their thoughts on paper and the release that it gives them. So join us on Mondays. If you want to find out more, just call me at 916-888-8089. That's 916-888-8089. Or text me at that same number and let me know you're interested in being a part of the class, and I will send you a link so that you can join us. Now, this is the conclusion or the closing of our broadcast today, and I want to share with you one last thing before we leave. If you want to learn how you can protect your family when it comes to legal issues or when you're being hacked, as we know everyone is being hacked today, we have a way of helping you with that 24/7. Again, you can contact me at 916-888-8089, and I will be happy to share with you how you can do that through Legal Shield. So call me and I'll help you out. Until the next time, please, as I always tell everyone, stay safe and keep the faith. And remember, a goal is nothing more than a dream until you take action. See you next time. Bye.